Another Monday, another show, and it's Gem Collectors with Shawn. And I'm that Shawn. I would think if I wasn't, you would know. But for those of you who haven't seen the show before, welcome, welcome, welcome. Here at Gem Shopping Network, we're 24/7, national and beyond TV network for 25 years. And I had a live show for 9 years. 5 years ago or so, even a little longer, broke away from that, created this podcast with just a steady team of Asif and Dave and wonderful other fill-ins when needed in Latif. And so with the same team in the inventory behind it and Sarah who posts the items. So it's a core team, which is great. And it makes, we're a big company, hundreds of employees. So it makes it really much easier to give you the special attention that you deserve when you tune in and watch this show. Okay, so I tend to expound and talk about a lot of other things. We're going to try to stay more focused. And actually, the How It's Done series, I must say this because it's going to be a compliment on our director of production, Asif, who is the one that controls all the buttons and dials behind the show, and he's actually the one that does this show himself. So you know you're getting the best of quality. Which, if it seemed a little shorter this week than last week, it's because those guys were fine-tuning the picture. I kid you not. And hey, it's always worth that just to bring you the best quality show possible. So in doing that, I need to probably not be so much of a blabbermouth and trim it down. Which the How It's Done series, 30 episodes of everything imaginable at the bench. Over all those 9 years of doing the live show, I said to all of you that I was a master goldsmith, master lapidary. But all that was words. I put my words, where's my mouth? I put my talents where my mouth is. How's that? And we created, with Asif directing, this series of everything that shows you how a ring is made from start to finish, how a handmade piece is made start to finish, alloying, stone setting, sizing, the difference between sizing platinum and gold, etc. Can you imagine if I was in charge of making my own instructional videos? It would be a long process. Now, you might know the chemical makeup of what the type of wood in the bench is or something, but you wouldn't get the core knowledge the way it is delivered. I was so impressed with watching and the way that the show was edited by a Shawn, who even spells his name like I do. And isn't that cool? His editing, Asif's directing. I start watching an episode and I'm all of a sudden glued to it, like I've never seen anything like that before done. And I'm watching that goldsmith saying, wow, that's a great technique he's using, look at the skill. I kid you not. So I haven't actually watched through them all because it's like, I made them. But that's how enthralling they are. Okay, so I'm going to try to cut back on some of the semantics today and give you, you know what? I could actually, because I did enough inventory, and I think it was probably Latif that entered every one of the items into it, and there's a lot of items. So let's see if we can't show you every item being something you have never seen before. How would you like that? I don't know. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe I have to throw in some other stuff. Segue into the same kind of products. Okay, so let's get to the comments. First, we have Trivia Winner. And we have a Trivia Winner, and I'm going to apply the power I have as a host in a special way. You're going to find out. All right, let's go. So, I guess you'll find out pretty soon. All right, the questions were, here are the questions. What element creates the violet in hexagonite? All right, so that was that unusual violet color that was in that one specimen that had sodalite and a couple other minerals in it that was all polished, freeform. And right at the top had a little hexagonite. Hexagonite is a manganese-bearing tremolite. So the right answer would have been manganese. Second question was, what mineral and location did I show was considered the best of its kind in the world? Well, being the very knowledgeable Miss Barbara in the family, which is great. And that's why, I need to hear from George. He's our family geologist. We have experts out there, all of you, in all kinds of different realms. And that's what I wanted, because with this kind of feedback, you get to cover a lot more ground through these comments and questions. So Barbara, you're going to hear her response, and then we'll get to that answer as well. So, okay, answer though that I was looking for was scooterudite, which the Raven has cutely nicknamed it, like she does many other things, Scooby-Doo-right, and it just really kind of goes. But scooterudite, named after an area in Norway where it was, and doesn't that sound like a Norwegian word, scooterud? Does to me. So, that's kind of, but scooterudite, that scooterudite, found in Morocco. So you're going to hear Barbara's question in a moment to that. All right, let's get to the comments. Miss Elisa, now this, I have to read what Miss Elisa wrote, that she missed out on getting her comment in on time. And if it seemed like it was supposed to be included, Miss Elisa, then it's my fault that maybe I overlooked, because I usually count how many are sent, and then I make sure I have cut and copied them to my email. I don't know. There's probably a better way to do it. But listen, not my generation. So I am going to read Miss Elisa's comment from the week before. And then we're going to go, well, you'll find out. All right, so Miss Elisa in Florida. Hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. Shawn, so great to be able to email you again. Thank you so much for the garnets that I won the other week. Our whole family has been sick. We all had COVID. The brain fog is real. Yes, it is. I wanted to share with you that when your gift arrived in the mail, that was the day that I had finally started to feel better, and I have been improving since. A few weeks ago in the August 23rd show, Harry wrote about he has true joy for when someone else wins, even if it was something that he would have really loved as well. That touched my heart. That touched my heart, and I know exactly what growth he is talking about. I was wondering, instead of opting out this week, can you put Harry's name in for the drawing instead of mine? I would love to share the joy of him winning, and this had been on my heart since I watched the show. My answers to this week's question, and she got all the answers right from the week before. That was the Cavensite and the Malachite and Rosacite ones, and that Rosacite has zinc. Thank you so much for another awesome show. Dave, your camera skills always impress me. Have a great week, everyone, and stay safe. Very nice. And then she has another comment, but we'll get to these in the order that they come in. Harry writes, well, hi there, Professor Shawn and the lovely Raven, as well as all the family at GSN out there. In our family of the love of all those beautiful rocks, gems, and minerals. Been a long couple weeks here for myself and my dear sister with a big red heart. We both had our latest chest CT and form and her PET scans and came back, and hearing the findings of the cancer team we both share. Well, for me, I am good to go, 2-year mark and cancer free. As for my sister, she has challenges coming up. As her situation for this scan she had is not looking too good, but they already have her next plan to begin immediately. So this said, I just haven't had time to catch up. With notifying close friends and family, and please keep my sister Susan in your prayers, as I believe God hears all prayers, as well as our praises. Sorry, Shawn, it's all I got for now. Much love to all of you. And he has a big red heart there. Signed, Harry. Harry, I can assure you, you'll be in my prayers and and the families as well. I can feel your heart right through your words. Yeah. Cindy in Pennsylvania says, hello, Rock family. I am so very sorry you lost your dear Aunt Shawn. You could see the happiness and goodness of her influence on your life in your face as you spoke about her. Shawn and Anthony, you are both examples of honorable men in your exchange regarding the Triplite parcel. I am extremely envious of this week's trivia prize, Mexican fire opal. Wow. Raven, no one here will judge you on or off camera. Promise we won't bite. And she's here. She's amongst the building. She set the items out in the back, and she's not far away. The answers, manganese, that's correct, because it's manganese in the tremolite. So you could say Manganoan tremolite. Scooterudite from Morocco, getting all the answers right. Be safe, everyone. Take care. Be good to yourselves. Get a flu vaccine. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Favorite item of the show? Spencer, Idaho opal. Yeah, that'd be a tough one not to be a favorite, especially if you love opal like I do. Anthony in Massachusetts. Hello, all. Great show. So sorry you're having to go through another loss. Please take care of yourself emotionally. You seem to have good support. Stay close. And to refresh everybody, my aunt, she is the one who's her and her husband, who was my uncle and my dad's only sibling. So it was my dad's brother. And he passed away 30 years ago, very close to the time my mom did. But every summer, and I'm talking about from like the age of 10 till I got like 17, but every summer I would go up to their farm, 200-acre apple orchard in Otto, actually, in Macon County, south of Franklin, right across the Georgia border, not far from there. We actually have a road named after the family name. And later, when they sold, houses have been put on it, unfortunately, but there's an old quarry there. There was an old mica mine at the top of the mountain that I'd ride motorbikes up to. I mean, it was, and my aunt, they had a true fun farm. In other words, the real farm was the apple trees, the turkeys, the pigs, the incredible garden. That was the part they really kind of did for themselves. But I learned a lot of things. I remember that time, the summer it was, kind of earn your keep kind of thing as well. I could have probably skipped out on the summer that it was time to castrate the piglets. Oh yeah, it was the real mountain farm, but it was great. There was incredible prospecting. So every summer, that's where I got my real love of prospecting and ability to do it, learn it, and experience it. And I mean, they had everything from an outcropping of microschist with almandine dodecahedron crystals in it that, I mean, are really nice. And a lot of more stories I could tell about that, but we won't go there. So anyway, that's who she was. Lived until, you know, she just passed away, and my dad passed away this summer. So it was actually the last of that generation. And, you know, if there was a favorite aunt, she would have been it for me. And to let us kids have run as we did, and there was always a ham to, you know, make a sandwich with, plenty of food, all kinds of food. Best creamed corn. All right. So that's just to say what kind of aunt she was. Anthony goes on to say, I had an aunt that had a small farm as well. It's where I learned to ride horses. She was also my godmother, special lady. We lost her a couple years ago. I was reminded when you shared about your aunt, it's not about the loss, but about the good times. I guess that's what we need to remember. Yeah, most definitely. While watching your show, my mail came. There's a box from GSN. Yeah, that's some of that show magic. I got my package last week. I'm thinking, Anthony's thinking, I open it. It's the Mexican opal parcel. Then I think, who was it? Miss Cindy just said that she was real envious, envious of. Yeah, that one. It's the parcel of Mexican opal. It's what I'm watching on the TV screen. Do. He actually wrote that. And we all know what that means, especially in our, you know, age group. It's probably right in the top one of my most favorite TV series by far. Twilight Zone. Rod Serling. Genius. So, you know, this is, remember how it works. Like today, this is Thursday. For, you know, we've been doing this over 5 years, 254th show. We shoot for Thursday back. Austin was so accommodating. When I was ill, brain fog, we had an alternate day of Monday, and that's when you saw the shows on Tuesday. But I've been so much healthier as far as the brain fog part goes. But we'll work on the other stuff. So that's when the winner is decided in this show. So, you know, you're seeing the show live. If you were here on Thursday, we shoot it just like a live show. The efficiency of the inventory department and shipping and the whole works. We knew on Thursday who the winner was, right? Boom, that item got shipped out. The show posts on Monday. And wow, another magical, I should have been writing all these down. Just these very amazing, beyond coincidental items that happen. So the parcel he won. So let's go on. He says, it's the parcel of Mexican opal from trivia from the week before. I mean, I know what happened from what you said about shooting 2 shows back to back, or is it? In big letters. Picture of one losing one's mind. Okay, I got that mental image. Thank you. No, really, is that what happened? He writes. So his answers for this week's, yes, that's what happened. You won that parcel, and that's how efficient jump shopping is. We used to allow on free items, and still that can happen for it to be after 3 weeks to give us a call. But before that, because it could take us a different path. But things have greatly improved in that department. So he writes tremolite for the answer, and we were looking for, I think, let's see, that's why I write it down. The what element? Manganese is what we're looking for. But as far as what it was a manganese tremolite. So, yeah. And then he gets the Scooby-Doo, right? He writes, Scooteroo, nice specimen. And from Morocco, it even has the name of the mine right, the Bouismus mine. well done. Well done. Okay. Oh, by the way, it was the September 24th show. Roughly that date, that show is the one you won the opal for. Then, actually, Anthony knows, I know you like pictures and rocks. A couple of thunder eggs last week. Aren't able to show you the picture now, but he cut a thunder egg, and by golly, it was, and I'll because what we do is, so it's not through my crummy phone. Asif rightly likes it to be a better quality shot that you see. So what I'll do when we have more time next week is send him the picture, and then he puts it in this really high def ability to give it to you a lot nicer. So, okay, and it's amazing. I don't know. It looks like a cat, but I'll let you decide. It's really cool. And by the way, Mr. Anthony, if you ever wanted to give me another prize or gift other than that amazing pendant you made of an owl, that would make a great I love you present. No, that's a cool piece. I wouldn't want. I want you to have it and possess something that cool. And then I'll actually tell you what it's worth once I know for certain that you're going to keep it and not give it to me. Miss Elisa, let's see, we'll save that. I'll read that in a minute. Yeah. Miss Penny and her son, Mahalis. Hello, Shawn, Raven, GSN crew, and fellow Rockhounds. Shawn, once again, you have my deepest sympathies for your aunt. Kudos to you for persevering and recording a show. Trivia. Manganese gives hexagonite its purple color. Great specimen, she writes. Scooterudite. I know I got the spelling right because I am obsessed with that specimen and memorized the spelling from Morocco, and without a doubt, that is the specimen of the week. Now, I'll put that portion of the podcast on repeat for a couple of days. Yeah, it was that amazing. Just a little correction. Last time I visited Athens, the Acropolis was most definitely not in Rome. I had to laugh about that. When I think of those kind of ancient ruins, I tend to group them all together with the Roman period and include poor Penny, who of course has a Greek heritage. And I could have just as easily said, that the Colosseum and associated it with Greece. And I think that they would take just as much umbrage to it. And so I apologize to you. It was a comedy of error, but error nonetheless. And I love the history, of course, to between Greece and Italy, Rome, all the other things. So, yeah, that was funny. And thanks for calling me out on that if I associated the two together. I don't remember exactly my words or how I did it, but I can tell, no doubt, that I did, coming from someone from Greece. Miss Barber writes, hi, Professor, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Nice, long show. Oh, wait, did I finish? Okay. Penny finishes with, that's it for this week, short and sweet. We wish everybody the best and hope to see you next week, despite the challenges thrown our way. Thank you, Miss Penny and Mr. Mahalis. Miss Barber says, hello, hi, Professor, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Nice, long show. My Monday is back to normal. I really wasn't being cute about the sulfide answer. You took the time to instruct us about the tri-state Ruby Jack and Galena specimen earlier in the show, saying that Galena was PBS, pyrite was FES2, and sphalerite was ZNS. All sulfides with a different first ingredient. So I threw out the double sulfur one and gave you your answer. That you did. My ancient brain finally remembered the green mineral I asked about, which you offered months back. So artfully paired with the first rosocyte specimen. It was duftite, beautiful specimen. Yes. And I forgot to answer you then, because none of the others have it. So that's why on the first specimen, often it's the best specimen, unless it gets to the end and it's one of, my closest favorite personal specimens. Then it might have something unusual. But as far as I know, there's no others with the duftite, though it can occur with that particular location. It just doesn't often occur with them. Thought about the Scooby-Doo right too long, and it was gone. And see, I didn't realize that until I read that someone had bought it. So that was information I didn't know, which kind of saddens me. And I'm not even going to tell Raven that it sold, because I think, she loved it. It was right in front of our TV, along with her Thunder Bay huge amethyst specimen. But that one can't be for sale because I gave that to her as a gift. But the Scooterudite, that really amazing one, it wasn't a formal gift. It was just the best of the lot that we had gotten of them. And that now we don't have a nice Scooterudite. But I wonder who did get it. Who's going to come clean? Anybody listening? Let's see. So she writes, not my usual flavor in minerals, but it was such a fine example of what it was at a great price that I got greedy. Whoever got it has quite a treasure. Mazel tov. And I think what she means by getting greedy was maybe to wait to see if it was not going to sell, and maybe if I'd lower the price, which on something like that, and she says it was a great price. I can say that all day long, but to a lot of you, and it may just sound like typical salesman talk, which it does, except the difference between if I say it versus someone else saying it, you can believe it. If I'm speaking, it's not lying, I'm not lying. So on rare and unusual specimens like that, I actually look at sometimes pricing from other places that would carry that level of quality. And I think I even notated on that one that it was a museum quality piece. It was a fraction. In other words, something, if you could even find it of that quality, was multiples more. But out of every one I saw that was available for sale, there was not a single piece that you could even compare to that. Maybe some a little similar here, that, but for one side to be pyrite and the other to be Scooterudite and have that sharpness of the crystals that it did, including the rare and unusual cubooctahedral crystal formation, that was a jewel of a specimen, and at a fantastic price. So, being that it was so close, if you can hear my voice, I'd like to know where it wound up. Just curious. But everybody, you can be private. I'm not forcing anything on anyone. And you may not even be listening. But I know you are. You're out there. All right. She goes on to say, trivia, manganese tremolite is the hexagonite, and I guess it's idiochromatic with manganese in the formula, giving the violet color. Now, the third question is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. What the hey? You want a mineral and its location, and it's the best of its kind from that place, and you showed it, or maybe it's a mineral from its type locality. I'm confused. You did 20 minutes on the precious opal and hyalite from Spencer Mine, Idaho, so maybe that's it. Surprise me. Yes. So I think that statement I made was not one I could make on my own without having compared scooterudites from around the world personally, which is such a rare animal I haven't been able to do. I can only go to something like midnet.org or the other high-end mineral dealers and see what they are offering and compare it to that. That specimen was in the top of his class, but that would still only be a comparison of what's available at the moment. That quote I stated was based on from that particular mine and that location. Being not just the mine, but the location of Morocco, which pretty much only covers that mine and one other mine. So when I said it's known to be the best of its kind, in other words, for scooterudite of the Moroccan scooterudites are the best of scooterudites in the world. That's where I was going with that. So, but there's not a lot. There's only like 2 main mines, and the Buismas one is, to me, the better of them. So you could say that it's from the best of the best mine from the best country that produces scooterudite. That's what I meant. The type locality isn't there. It's what they consider the type locality is elsewhere. So yeah, that's where I was going with that. Let's see. I've left the sad stuff for the end. It's so hard to lose the people who fed you and shaped you, but you are their product, you are their legacy, and your children are their legacy too. So remember them fondly and carry on. Enjoy the fall weather, at least after the remnants of the miserable hurricane gets done with us all. Yeah, it looks like we're going to miss it in Georgia here. Could have used a little bit of the rain. I actually kind of like wind, and rain and thunder, but if it's too much wind and it's going to cause inconveniences for people, then that's not something I want for other people. So, yeah. But in general, if I could live out in the woods and have wind and rain and not bother anybody, light a fire, cook in the fireplace, one of my favorite things to do, by the way. Okay, so we had, let's see if that covered everything. The last important one I did not read. Okay, so Elisa, knowing that I did not read her comment from the week before, wrote another mention. Let's read Miss Elisa here. Hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rockhound. Shawn, I'm so sorry to hear about your aunt passing. I will be praying for your family. I don't want to say anything to make you cry, so I will leave it at that. But I wanted to share with you, about 17 years ago, my husband and I went to the Emerald Hollow mine and had no clue what these iron dirt-stained rocks were. And the Emerald Hollow mine is known for the emeralds being found in that kind of material. Last week I came across the jar. I had put them all in and cleaned them better. As I began to sort through them, I started to recognize things. I found sapphires and more, one small tiny emerald, and a lot of pyrite. This was so fun to be able to identify what we had in that jar for all these years. I wanted to thank you because if it wasn't for all that you have taught us and shared on this show, I never would have been able to identify them all. Thank you. I also have been looking to buy some equipment, but haven't had any luck for used or even estate sales for equipment. Let me know if you are interested in selling of any of yours. I'm looking for a flat lap. You know what? Of all the things, I'm looking for a flat lap too. I just know you have to stay and keep up with it, and I didn't want to commit. A tumbler is more self, it's easier. But a flat lap, it's harder. Because I've done both. When I worked at that rock shop, We had, oh my gosh, he had 36-inch flat laps, and keeping them going and keeping them without bumping into each other and all was work. I do have a truck, and not too far away. Something to keep in mind. Anthony, congratulations on the win and for being such an honest person. I can't believe you wanted to give that trip light back to Shawn. That is awesome, she writes. Harry shared in the 823 show how he has grown from this community and how he feels genuinely happy when someone else wins. I was really touched by what he shared, and I was wondering if Harry's name could be entered to win in place of mine to increase his odds. If I have the answers correct, of course. I wrote this in my comments for last week's show, but either I sent it in too late or it did not go through. Sorry if you are reading this for the second time. My answers to this week's Scooter right from Morocco and Manganese. Getting them right. I hope everyone has a great week and stay safe, Miss Elisa. Okay, so I think I have, let me just make sure, because, yeah, that I have read everybody. Miss Elisa, and to all the rest of the Rock family and group, I have made an executive decision, and I think all of you will agree. And this will be the first time in 254 shows that that I will have done this. But I'm in agreement with Miss Elisa. I think we need to increase Harry's odds of winning. And for that reason, I am going to declare by executive order of our Rockhound community that he's the winner. Harry, congratulations. Let's show Harry what he has won. And this is actually what I had in mind. And you know, Harry is a stone cutter. Cabbing and faceting. And this was, I mean, swear, which I wouldn't normally even do, even if, no matter the truth. But in this case, it makes it real easy, that this was the parcel that was going to be given away. It is an incredible mixed parcel of over 100 carats of everything from high-end lapis to faceted garnets. I mean, nice garnets. Look at these. Nice garnets. Actually, let me get my fingers out of there. But that's just the way I get to do it at home, so I'm kind of used to that. This is, you know what, sometimes it's just quicker and faster. Look at that. That is purple Turkish chalcedony. Another nice piece of lapis. And, this is for you to write down what is what, so you know from me just saying that is a ruby. The rest of them you'll pretty much be able to figure out yourself. I think that's some blue apatite in there. Here is actually a piece of charoite. And look at the purple in that. Look at that facet grade fire opal of the really that's it for quality. I mean it just doesn't get. Whoops! I'm going to show you what that was. Look at that fire opal. That's incredible. Then there's actually some cut opal. Look at the fire that will show better in another light. Yeah, you see that? Wow. Okay, so my tweezers, unfortunately, it's not a good thing for that to occur, have become magnetized because they've come close to that magnet of mine. But do you know what that is? That is the real deal for a Sakot. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but the Sakot Island, Russian, well, Siberian, Russian meteorite fall. Yeah, that's from that big meteorite. This, one of my favorites, look at this. I was saving this to cut one day. That is a genuine, untreated piece of turquoise. You know that better be turquoise, if that's gem silica. You know, this is stuff I had for a long time. And, you know, I don't know, some things could be other things. This is one of the finest quality natural pieces of green aventurine I've ever seen. Here's a drilled, it's already cut, but it's and drilled, so you can have fun with that. There's the drill hole, black onyx. Nice garnet, I think. Then two pearls, big pearls. It goes on. It goes on. Look at this. Aquamarine crystal. Another aqua crystal. A large garnet. No, smoky quartz. Excuse me. Smoky quartz. And I'll let you discover the rest, Anthony. But how fun for you. And this is not from me. This is the entire community giving up their place and chance to win this parcel to make sure you win. And congratulations. Your heart deserves something wonderful, and with what you're going through also can maybe boost your spirits a little bit, and maybe you can have some fun cutting and take your mind off your other troubles. So congratulations from our hearts to yours. All right, we'll be back in a moment with the start of the show. You know, I told you it was going to be items you haven't seen. You got well, you guys watch every week, but man, I just had to finally cut off the number of new items that I kept on entering. Yeah, just every week there's going to be an exciting show for you. This, you know, and every price point. So don't think it's going to be just expensive items. There, you know, I have 50 years of collecting, and when I was collecting as a teenager, budget was small. So I collected things I could afford, especially back then, the amount of money. This is a great piece that I have worn. I put a new cord on it. It is has the classic well, forget it. I actually tied it back here, which, you know, I shouldn't do anyway. But 20-inch cord. So what I wanted to show you was guys or girls, of course, can wear this. The 20-inch can fall outside. Now, for a guy, what I do, you know, like even in my emerald pendant, if you want to shorten these, what you can do is just, you know, take the catch and tie a knot in the cord. It actually doesn't hurt the cord. So you end up with a, you know, a knot in the cord. It takes up length. If you actually want, these are only epoxied on at the end, and I know there's a lot of you clever people out there that can just cut this off, soak the piece out, and then shorten it, and just use epoxy to put the end back in. All right, that's about the cord. The main thing is look at this. Isn't that cool? Arrowhead. It's chalcedony. It's not quartz. Of course, you know, chalcedony is a type of quartz. Basically, it's a cryptocrystalline quartz. So, well, you're familiar with chalcedony. And look at that. That is incredible napping. And with this, the way it's notched, if you actually wanted to, we'll put it this way, it's the quality of arrowhead that primitive hunters actually use. So what I'm saying is, the way this has been done, and as sharp as this is, this and out of the material it's made of, there are people that I think is pretty cool, because it gives the, you know, hunt like they did hundreds of years ago. You know, without these fancy steel blades and a crossbow and whatnot, if you're going to go hunt, quote, with a during archery season, you know, everybody to his own, but to actually, and there are those, make your own shaft and your own arrowhead. Now, I'm not saying this one necessarily, but this is the kind of quality that they use and the way this is notched back there. Now, just a simple wire wrap, and you have a great pendant, nice long leather cord with a silver catch. And the only one I have enjoyed it. I am going to let someone else enjoy it now. Ready, set. Only going to be one. There's not even going to be another one at any other time. Opportunity pricing indeed on this is only, ready, set, so I can write whatever to my Sharpie. $48. $48. And, you know, to get the cord and the works, then that works out very well for someone. I have a feeling that that one will not be around. Okay. Now, what I'm getting ready to show you next. I had a little talk with the Raven that, you know, if, you know, I'm all, you know, selling my items and she needs to let go some of hers and as well, because yeah, only fair, right? Because believe it or not, I am probably going to end up selling my platinum ruby ring. I'll give you another look just so you can be thinking about it. I made that many, many years ago. There's a whole very cool backstory to this piece. And we'll talk about that. It's actually facet grade, but it was cabochon, which is rare. It's approximately 3.5 carats. But we'll talk about that later. Let me show you. This is not quite the same trade-off as that ruby ring, but for the Raven, it is. It is item number 107. And yeah, that's what I need for Christmas is 1079622. And hold up just a second on pulling that because I need to change this out. And I am going to show this all at once because we've only talked about this item. We have never had one here for sale. It is one of a kind and an incredible spectralite. Look at that spectralite. Yeah, stunning. Spectralite is the look at that. Look at that. Spectralite is the highest quality form of labradorite, and basically it's the lightning ridge black opal of labradorites, and it only is found in Finland. Now they try to call some of the high-end Madagascar labradorite spectralite, but it really doesn't work. No, it really needs to be that darker black base, which let me show you. You can see on the side the entire, just like black opal, that darker base will bring out the colors better. Look at, I love what the actual cutter did. He actually left. This is complete, look at this. This is unpolished, but let me show you. Look at the light coming through that. And it's just stunning. But here is the rarest thing about it. As you can see in the description, rare pattern, what I'm going to show you and what I mean by that. If you have ever seen the crystal form of moonstone, and I meant to bring in the big moonstone I found, the one that was like 3 inches, and I found it. You guys saw it. I brought it in at a dig. They were rebuilding a home, or tearing down a home, and I noticed there was this unusual trench dug it out of the level ground. Yet there is this trench, which to me, I have seen so many, so many mine areas that you can kind of spot what's what. So The trench was pointed the other way, but when you see a trench like that with the dirt thrown up on either side, and the trench was got deeper, basically someone's following a mineral vein. So on a weekend, like I've always said, as long as doesn't say no trespassing, because they never go against those rules, but it didn't. And so on the weekend, like I have told you oftentimes, these new subdivisions is a great way to prospect. I went on the lot, went back around, went down in the trench, and it wasn't that deep, but with a dirt pile on the side, you couldn't see anyone from the road there. And I started just kind of picking around there. I only took my pick, and it was only minutes before I found like a 3-inch moonstone crystal. It was really cool. All right, so the shape is a kind of a monoclinic for the one of the shapes of feldspar in its crystal form. So let me show you. Here, it follows. Wow, look at the color in that. All right, so that's a whole nother look to it. You see how it's diagonal here on each end, straight across. So it's basically, if you remember your high school geometry, it's like a parallelogram. So parallel here, diagonal here. And then look at the colors, how they follow that pattern in multiple different rings. I have never seen labradorescence in any crystal form ever. And oh, have I sold labradorite in so many pieces. But I have never seen the color pattern follow the crystal pattern like this. This is stunning. And the wire wrapping, simple yet effective. Look at that. Look at that diagonal repeating pattern of the different colors. Amazing. This side being polished as we turn it and look at it in other ways. You turn it until then the light hits it, and then it just lights up. And often it's like opal. You have one particular direction that you get the best color from. There we go at that angle. See, look at that. From there, I was just keeping it kind of there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so from multiple angles, it really lights up. It's an amazing piece. And so she enjoyed it. It's stamped 925 in the bale. The bale's large enough. It comes with a cord, 18-inch cord, silver catch. And again, if you can shorten yourself or tie, I even tie knots in mine to get them the right length, so that you can take them out and make it longer if you want. This piece is especially priced, completely wire wrapped, ready to go. And I tell you what, it's one of those pieces, go find another. No, for one, even if you have another spectrolite, there is not going to be ever any that have that pattern of labradorescence that follows it's a crystalline pattern. That is rare, unique, unusual, and all the other epithets that can be put with it. Price on this is a tremendous opportunity. The cost of the wire wrapping, if you actually had something done, just think about that. Even the cord. So for only $288, you're going to get an amazing, amazing value. And out of all the ones, that's just it. This was hand selected out of many, many, many other choices. So let me tell you, out at the big show in Arizona, that's Raven. I went, only one guy, and we knew it. And the guy sold out and actually left way before he was supposed to. He sets up at this one, not at any of the big shows or anything. He's finished. He comes over with his items, and if you don't get there early, then they're gone and he's gone. And that's it. That's it until the next year. And we got there actually stumbled upon him the first year, and then one year he was like sold out in a day. I can understand, but he had almost all of his items out. He had gotten to the show a little late. We were there like the next day, and so out of all the choices that he had, we got like first pick and could cherry pick the best of the best. And that's what happened here. That's why this piece, I mean, looking at it like that, you would have no idea that that's actually the labradorescence of it. That's the labradorescence reflecting. It's not just the regular colors of, let's say, an agate, like a banded agate, that remain the same no matter how you turn it. That's the special effect of Plesioclase feldspar in this case. And that pattern, one of a kind, never seen anything like that. And I know you haven't either. That is special. Now, okay, that I needed to talk about a little longer than some other items. Let's get going, because this next item, 1078222, this is in honor of the hurricane, Ian the hurricane, and the west coast of Florida. If I said I had something to show you from the west coast of Florida, you don't have too many choices. You could say megalodon tooth coming from Sarasota, yes, or some of the fossils out of the Peace River, which I have canoed the Peace River. Remember, I lived in Sarasota for a long time, 10 years. I actually lived on Anna Maria Island. I actually also lived in Bradenton Beach. I know that area well. I know Crystal River. As I got it later as a teen, we would canoe Crystal River. I'd canoe the Peace River, canoed the Myakka State Park, and even further up, St. John's River. So, yeah. Now, at the rock shop in Sarasota I worked at, back then, William Harris, the original owner, couldn't hear, but he could read lips really well. So I got a job there, $1.75 an hour. I was at that time just at the end of my 12th grade year or so. Maybe earlier. I mean, not 12th grade, 12 years old. Not exactly sure. By the time I was 13, I was in that newspaper article. So he was an amazing buyer. And one year he bought, they were in burlap bags, a batch of Tampa Bay coral. There is a huge distinction between Tampa Bay coral and Withlacoochee Swanee River coral. That is so different. For one thing, they're smaller pieces. And the other thing, they have a very, very coarse texture. I had to use heavy gloves working with this material. And so the way it came in, I had to wash and clean off all the sediment. No longer is Ballast Point even accessible. There's a little, tourist, like, not even a pier. It's just a little walkway that goes out to where they used to collect them. There's nothing to collect. It's just, look it up. Look up Ballast Point, Tampa Bay, coral digging. It's extinct. There's nowhere to even begin to think about finding anything. It was totally changed. They created a park there, and any coral is impossible to dig. It's not even open for any of that anymore. Actually, if you talk to people and say, ask about the coral, they have no idea what you're even talking about because it's been that long. They're not familiar. So this is what you get. You get these real jagged edges, and often when you look at it, it doesn't look like coral at all. Whereas the Withlacoochee River coral, boy, it has the hexagonarian kind of shape to the coral, the hexagon shapes on the outside. You can see the growth of the different types of coral so easily. And the other thing is, what's on the inside looks completely different also. with the coochie, you get botryoidal formations, and you get a lot more agate. Let's look on the inside of this. Let's look on the inside. Look at this. This is some of the whitest material I've ever seen. And to see it, we probably have to iris down a little, because look at how white. This quartz is white enough around the edge, but then the crystals have you can see here's some without the coating, but have an unusual coating over them that is like, I don't know, like even nothing. I guess if there's a grading for whiteness, that would be just about as white as it comes. Really unique. And you can see at this angle, as we shade it a little, how well how you can see the crystals. You can look at this side, and you can see there's more. All these are crystals, but then there's a few not covered, and you can see them glistening there. Look at that. This is really, really cool and unusual, but that's not the end of it. It's a considered additional value if a piece has a hole or the remnants of what they call the clam borer. And if you look right here, you can see there's a hole right through there. And let's see, when you look back this way, oftentimes, oh, here it is. Let me get my pointer. You can see along the edge here, the clam borer, of course, what goes in must come out, but it'll often leave like a mud trailing that ends up getting fossilized as well. 30 million years old. 30 million year old. The Tampa Bay coral tends to have also those kind of circular indentations in it, or these depressions. As we come in close, you'll see them. Here's a big one. Here's little ones. And I don't know if that's just where it didn't, I know the coral didn't look like that, but that's just how it formed. Look at that. That's an external clam borer hole that, oh, it did make its way. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's kind of interesting. It did make its way into the center of the coral. All right, I have these specially priced. Now that you know about them, we'll go through a couple of these pretty quick. That's a big one for the here. You know, Miss Elisa, if you ever get a flat lap polisher, these are perfect. This is how you polish the edge, is with a flat lap. How fun is that? I know, because I have worked with them and operated them, but I have not gotten one myself out of all the equipment. I just knew I couldn't get the use out of it like I would like to. Let's look at item number 10. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Oh no, this one's $38. $38 on that one. But I do. This is the one I have. Ready, set, next. 107-8122. 107-8122. And this is the one we can put that price up already. It is only $18. This is really unique. Really, really unique, because look at that. It's citrine. It is an amazing quartz piece, and it is a quartz that you don't often see, being that it is natural, a natural citrine color. And look at that. So there's the outside. Would you ever think that was coral? No, not like with the coochie material. That's what I'm saying, the Tampa Bay coral. And wow, if you're not careful, this is so coarse. Now, we'll take you in close on it, because look at that. There's no banding, there's no anything. Wow, look at that. what a sparkle to that. And see, even along the edge. So you can see I put agatized coral, but that's kind of a generalization. Some will have agate, some will have mostly quartz. I could, to better describe this, it would be silicified. A silicified coral, which then you should know automatically that it's agate. There we go. There's a little extra. There's a clam bore hole right there. And wow. Okay, so look at how attractive that is. And it's really an attractive piece when you look at it like that. Now, next, let me show you. Item number 1. Oh, price on this guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We already got there. 107. Sorry, 1922, I think. 107, 7922. Yeah, I definitely need to get to the eye doctor. Now, let me show you this piece, and it's kind of unusual because, so many times that you think to wrap them when they've been sawn in half in and put a rubber band around them, but it cuts through rubber bands like butter really easily. So I usually put paper around them first, but I didn't on this one real quick. Check this out. Again, from Ballast Point in Tampa Bay. That's why with a hurricane, if you were to look or to swim around and maybe dive, if you could add that equipment or snorkel, of course, that would be the time. Also, did you see the way the winds pushed the water out of Tampa Bay, leaving the shoreline exposed? Wow. That, if you were ever to get coral, would be once in a rare lifetime opportunity to do it, because if you actually see where Ballast Point is, that would have exposed the digging area. And other than that, yeah, there's no chance of finding anything. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. Boom. Look at that. All incredible quartz. And again, your Withlacoochee material isn't like that. The outside, coarse, and really not a very coral-looking type formation. Wow, that looks almost like an owl. Look at that. Interesting. Now, let me keep these corals straight here. All right. Now, price on this one, let's see, that was, $18. $18. Excellent opportunity. And now, let me see what else I have. Oh, yep. I think I saw, because I know those will sell that someone wish they had another one. So I actually, believe it or not, okay, so here's the thing you have to remember. They consider something that's extinct. So Ballast Point can no longer be collected. There's nothing there, it's not possible, there's a park, it's illegal, it's all this and that. So when I offer something from a place like that, especially somewhere, in the United States, Tampa Bay, where agatized coral is only found, agatized coral of any beauty, only found in Withlacoochee, Swanee River of Florida, and only Tampa Bay. Well, the Withlacoochee, Swanee, you can still find some material, but no longer Tampa Bay material at all. So what I am offering here, be out of an old collection I have from long ago, is material specimens that's it. No longer can be mined or be available. And that, automatically, of course, value can only go in one direction when something's no longer valuable. And everything that's been in the market has been absorbed, which it has been. Except when you come across a hoarder like me that has so many pieces that at this point, I want to share. And you guys were the right group to share with. Item 107, 70, let's see, hold on. Oh boy. Yeah, 7822. 107, 7822. And let's take a look. It was really exciting because I had not seen these in years. Look at this one. Look. Completely non-distinct from if you were walking on the beach. You would, it'd be a nuisance. You'd step on it with your bare feet and say, rock hurt me. Darn rock. Yeah. The rock hound might be a little bit wiser, but then he looks at it and says, that doesn't look like anything. Most everybody would. But when you feel it, it is lighter. You know why? Look at how hollow it is on the inside. Look at the citrine. Let's give it a close, quick look at that. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nothing like with Lacucci material. That is, of course, you could say it's like a geode, but 30 million years ago, it was actually coral. Formed completely different. Price, $18. $18 for both halves you get. And that's value. Again, remember, we're talking about a material that is no longer available ever. That location closed to doing any kind of collecting, but there's also nothing left. Nothing left. $18. So I happen to, of course, being associated, living in Sarasota, had made a wonderful buy many years ago, and now I am sharing them with you. And can't go wrong. Can't go wrong if you pick up a one of those opportunities when the amount of money you're talking about is only $18, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make them to where they were so cheap. But here's the other thing. I also didn't want, only to do one. So I had to give up more than I wanted to, just so there'd be enough choices so there'd be less disappointment. So I hope you take advantage of them. Now, let me show you something special. 107-80-22. 107-80-22. And here is, as the Raven likes to say, something that is small but mighty, as she refers to herself as. All right, so here is the item. Let's open it. It is taped, and then I just put the label around it. And then maybe I should have opened it previously so it wouldn't be one of those embarrassing moments on the show where then I break the tweezers or something like that, which we're headed in that direction. So, you know what? When we do this, it shows you I haven't opened it. I get just as much fun in the surprise as you do. All right, look at that. Look at that clam borer hole. Is there anything left to it? I'm not sure. This is really cool. Let's look at the inside. Oh, wow. Look at that. As we go in close, you'll see a really nice detail of the formations. Look at that. Some botryoidal formations, some crystalline formations, and I think a lot of the fun to this one is that clam borer hole. And the round, again, on the beach, you wouldn't think, that looks absolutely nothing like coral. Also, the Withlacoochee coral pieces, I've never seen anything that is small. That's where you get your bigger pieces. $9. $9. Now, Okay. Oh, yeah. That's this one. All right. Now, I have kind of try to keep myself organized. Okay, let's use that. All right. Ready, set. Let's do this. Can't help it. 1080022. 10822. 1080022. Probably the better way to say that. Okay, let me show you. These have not been unwrapped. They are something that I said I wasn't going to let any of my private collection go, but I am. Let's open it together. This is some of the highest grade, and they grade Oko geodes by quality. And I don't have time to tell the whole story, but at one time I took, it was like 20 flats of them in exchange for a debt. And I got them at a really good price. I actually sold off to another dealer, a well-known dealer, many of them. But at one time, we kept some of them, and I think I told you on the little ledge to the backsplash, the kitchen raven took every one of them and lined the backsplash. Because it was only about 1 inch wide, but it was just wide enough to hold an Oko geode. It was the coolest thing. And boy, the energy they created in the kitchen was fantastic. Now, let me show you. These are from only one particular mine. There is no other place. You can look it up, Rio Grande do Sul, but look up Oko and it'll take you, it's a long name. I didn't have room to put it on the label, but there's no other mine that these are found in. One place. Look at this. That is some of the most outstanding goethite I have ever seen in an Oko geode. And as we come in close, you can really see the crystalline detail and the outward reaching acicular crystals. And there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Of the goethite, which is rare. It's rare in a regular geode to find crystalline goethite like that, let alone these small Oko geodes. And plume agate. Now, I don't know if they officially call this plume agate. There is such a thing, a plume agate. It looks like this. I'm calling it plume agate because I don't know what other type of agate it would be called. And here's the outside of them. Now, that, that kind of looks like a neat rock. But you start feeling it, it feels kind of heavy. It does not feel hollow. I like the pear-shaped, unusual aspect to this. This is one of, and see they're polished also, so you polish these on a flat lap. This is one of the highest qualities of an Oko geode I have ever seen with the goethite formation. $28. $28, you get both halves. That's look at that. That is special. Oko geodes are the smallest, basically the smallest geodes really of any value in the world. They are remarkable jewels of nature. Some of them, and I have offered some here, are even amethyst. So that's pretty cool. Let's look at item 1079922. 1079922, and again, we'll try to open this together for you. We'll set these others aside for a moment. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Again, I know that these are the best of the best. I remember we set these, we didn't even put these out in the kitchen because we didn't want anything to happen to some of these. So let's see what this one looks like. This looks like a beauty. Yeah, so we set aside, I guess, maybe 10 and of the highest grade of them all. And that's what you're seeing now. And that's why they're still not even unwrapped. We just left them wrapped as part of a undisturbed collection. Yeah, this is the first time, obviously, because you can't wrap them like that and re-wrap them and look like that. Look at these. Yeah, okay, you're going to see what is so amazing. And Dave, can you do your super zoom for a minute? Because I have never seen a circular needle like that goethite down in there that you're seeing in a larger geode, let alone a smaller one. Let me see if we can see down in there a little better. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Thank goodness. Oh, there's another one. The saw blade didn't harm any of the goethite. There is, I mean, that's just gorgeous. And here is what is so rare and unique. Look at the other side. The other side, it's like a cloned copy of it. Except even, well, that's just amazing. To have one of those on either side, what are the odds of that? What a display that would make. Or what a wonderful gift if you wanted to give someone something they have never seen or will. If you want to say, you know, go try to find a pair of Oko geodes. Look at how small they are. With a circular goethite needles in each half. Yeah, exactly. That's what they do. They'd laugh at you. All right. Now, before I put these away, I guess I better give you a price on them. They, of course, aren't quite as, you know, for what the look is, it's still so inexpensive. $38. $38. The best of the best. World class Okos right there. All right. Let me tuck these away safely. I'll be right back. All right. I'm getting ready to offer you one item that maybe I offer once a year, maybe not even that. It is a really, really incredible anhydro Brandberg amethyst. And the bubble is so big, we're going to show you that in a minute. It's really easy to see. It moves really large. An anhydro is an item that has a two-phase inclusion. So in other words, there's a liquid and a gas. The bubble's the gas, the liquid is what it moves in. Now, when you hear three-phase inclusions, that's when you have a solid within a bubble within a liquid. So you have all three, and that can be found in like emeralds and whatnot. So this is a gas bubble, and the water, think how old that water is. There are actually three moving bubbles. Now, I'm going to have to use my finger in a moment, but I'm going to show you where you're going to be looking. You can't miss it once I show you what you're looking for. All right, there's the bubble. It is going, it's going to travel in this area right here. Once you see it, you can't miss it. Now, here's the other thing. All right, there it goes back and forth. All right, there's the angle. Boom. All right, so Can you see it? I'm going to point to it once again so you know exactly where you're looking. All right, the bubble's right there, and it's going to move right back and forth right here. It is one of the largest bubbles I have ever, look at that. Look at that. I have ever seen in a crystal that's this small. Look at that. Imagine that is in the formation of that crystal, this whatever kind of mixture of atmosphere at the time, or if it was in the ground, who knows what it could be methane in the bubble. I'm not sure. But what is sure is it's very, very old. The liquid, the water, talk about mineral water. Well, I can guarantee there's silica in the water. That bubble, it is, you could probably almost hear it. It is visible once you know where it is from many different sides. We only picked this one just because it seemed that you could see it easily. But once you know where it is, you'll be able to find it easier. Now, I'm only spinning this around because I'm not going to get out the magnifiers and try to show you, but I want to challenge you to find the other two bubbles. There's at least two more. There's at least two more. Now, there's the one that's easy to be viewed. And they're smaller. They're smaller, but they are there. One is kind of close to this one. The other is further up. And make sure, as long as you turn it where gravity takes over and moves the bubble in its track, then you're going to be able to see that movement. That is a stunning crystal. All right. Price on this, with the three bubbles, the amethyst, it's just a really special crystal because you know what? It has going to have special metaphysical properties. And so therefore, let's see, if you made it as a pendant, how cool would that be then to all of a sudden show off to friends, because it's a bubble that is easily visible with the naked eye. And that is what also, look at that. It's easy to find, see? That makes it rare is, no one is not going to be able to see it. As opposed to the other two in here, which is the most common, are the ones that you have to use magnification to see. Price on this, I could talk about and look at that all day, $48. Only $48, there won't be another one. There won't be another one. This was set aside, I had set this aside to do exactly that, make a pendant one day. It's gonna come in with one of these suspension cases that you can display it in until you decide what to do with it. But yeah, one of a kind. Only $48 on that jewel. Okay, now let me show you. This is a piece, well, let's read the item number first. Item number 107-9122. 107-9122. And Raven hasn't noticed it gone yet, but I had to make sure that the dust ring around it was disguised. And I kind of put another specimen there. But it wasn't a gift or anything. She just kind of made off with it because it was one of the nicest ones of the batch of these terminated quartz that we got. Look at this. Look at this. Now, this is not your showroom. Here is some really, really beautiful green tourmaline in quartz and other goodies. Now, look at how big these crystals are. This is from, it has irises too, I see. This is from Brazil. It is from a location known to have some of these really fine specimens. Look at that. Look at that. There's also bicolor. Look at how beautiful that is. Bicolor crystals in this piece. You can see some of the bicolor nature here, where the center's a different color. Look at these. Now Dave's got to do, oh, look at that, a little magic in his camera work in a minute, because there's a couple things we need to find. And okay, first, let me show you right where we're at, and then it'll help him find them. Do you see little reflective light flashes coming off from inside the crystal? There we go. Oh, hold on, let me point so everyone can see. There we go. You see these? Look, there's one there. There's another one that lights up there. Another one that lights up there. Now, let's go in and see if we can see a little closer look. Ah, yeah, perfect. Ah, yeah. This is all we need. This is all we need. That is what I wanted everybody to see, because it's something you won't normally see. Most of the times, yeah, you might find rutile or something like that as inclusions. Look at them all. It's almost like little bugs or something. But we know it can't be that. It is acrowite. Acrowite is the clear to whitish variety of tourmaline. It is what tourmaline looks like without any of its impurities that give it color. Look at them. Look at them. And now that you know what to look for, you can find them scattered throughout. Now, we're going to continue to explore, because there's something else I want you to see. I need to find them myself, but once you see them, then you know where to find them. There, look at that bicolor. This is, what a great paperweight, what a great display item. Now, I didn't want to put, arrows or anything marking the spot, because I thought that we'd be able to find them, and we will. They are very distinct formations of something. Oh, wow, look at all those acrowites in here. Of something I'm not completely sure of. Oh, here. First, wait, there's something else. Oh my goodness, I forgot about this. The hematite dendrites. Look at this, which is something I have not seen with these specimens. Here they start. Okay, oh, first this. Oh, here we go. This is actually a little indicolite. It's an indicolite cap. There's the reflection. This is a little tourmaline crystal, and the very top of it is a blue cap of indicolite. All right, that's that. Remember that. Look at these dendrites. Now, let's go in, do the magic thing on the camera. There we go. Look at these. Look at these. And the, wow. Closest thing I could figure out was the fact that they were hematite. Now, the other option was goethite, but it's more known for this material from this particular location for there to be hematite associations. So the other item is these white areas. And I want to show you them just so that you know to look closer at them. There we go. Because when you look at them, they actually expand from the center out. First, look at those dendrites too. Yeah, they just look like white blobs, but do you see the little crystalline arms now? And let me go to see if 60, I should have cleaned the lens. Let me use this small one. Look at the dendrite on that. No, I should have cleaned the lens. but this was not expected. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what to look for. And let me just go over the top if I can. There's one of the white ones. You see that? There's actual crystal formations coming away from there. So the rest of the work is going to be up to you. There are these, look at that, hematite dendrites all over. You didn't notice them at first, but once you do, you do. And these white crystalline areas. And these other, there looks like a little bit of blue tourmaline there. There might be some calcite. There's some botryoidal formations along there. Much to be discovered. A lot to be discovered in this piece. And the price, oh wow, you should love it. $118. $118 only on that. That is, let me show you how big that is. That is what they call a small cabinet size specimen. Look at how big the tourmalines are. And it is, yeah, you can see the blue-green color to that. It is chock full of other interesting unknowns, like those white crystals. But the dendrites, for this location, they're extremely rare. So they have to be a iron oxide of some form. Now, a lot of people want to say, oh, dendrites, and automatically say that it's pyrolusite. Well, I'm going to tell you something that I have even used the term pyrolusite before. It is, there has never been upon really high-end analysis that they use true pyrolusite found as a dendrite. There are other manganese oxide analogs of it that the names that they have applied to them, I couldn't even pronounce. And they can only be determined by really expensive, high-end analysis. But what they have determined, there's no real pyrolusite dendrites, which shocks a lot of people because everybody wants to say, oh, pyrolusite. Not the case. Now, you can say manganese oxide. The reason I don't say manganese oxide on these is they are not known, manganese oxide is not known to be associated at this location with this type of specimen. So, there you have it. Take it from there and do your own research and see what you can find out. All right, now, let me show you something, and I had to laugh. You know, looking around in our inventory room, which is pretty much the entire house, I got to uncovering some boxes and got deeper in the stack, and I found a box. I couldn't believe it. I had never seen the specimens before. Where they came from, they were brand new. They were wrapped. It wasn't like I got them in a estate sale or anything else. I don't remember getting them. It has to be at least a decade or longer. Let's look at item 107-8322. And this is something that I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. But it is from Teller County, Colorado, and so I know where it's from. It is found in association with the Amazonites from that area. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the sparkle. Okay, so I showed it to you first. Your first reaction might be, you know, but wait, just wait. Let's look a little closer. For one, I like the size. This is the largest one. I only have 3. Specular hematite. Yeah, that is basically a coating of what would be specular hematite. Then look, this may not look like much until You look at it from this way. Look at the flattened, smoky quartz crystal. Look at that. I love it. And there's feldspar. Look at it. These are feldspars, all dotted around. I don't know. It's like a conglomerate. Now, as we look at this, let me catch the angle across the whole face, and then you're going to get an understanding of what's going on here. Okay, here we go. Boom. Boom. You are looking at, underneath all that glitter, I think it's somewhere, underneath all that glitter, there's a woman. No. There's smoky quartz. There's smoky quartz. And look at how beautiful. As we catch the light across them, you can see the crystals. But if we look at it like that, you have no idea. You don't see them. Like that, you do. So, this is all smoky quartz. Look at this. Look at this. Now you can see the crystal. When it doesn't have all that glam and glitter all over it, look at this one. The red also is hematite, which most of the times you know that. Remember, always think of rust. If you see red, iron oxide. Look at that crystal. And then they're all over. Once you start really noticing them. But wait, the best is yet to come. Yeah. That's what I'm going to show you is really makes the piece. Look at these. And the odd, it's almost like the piece was cemented together by silica. And, someone decided to put glitter on it. Look at that. So now you can actually see some of the formation of the crystal. They're flattened. They're flattened. They're unusual. I would dare say I have never seen anything else like this. But to really prove the fact, okay, look at the edge. Ready? You're going to love this. Look at the back. Or is it the front? Dave, you'll have to come out a little bit. Look at that. That is an entire smoky quartz crystal. Unbelievable. I saw this specimen from the top, was impressed as it was, and then when I turned it on the back, I said, oh, hello. I have never seen it's actually doubly terminated. A smoky quartz crystal that has grown in a flattened way to this extent, and one to be so big. So big. How would you display it? I mean, look at that. It sits naturally. That's a gorgeous display right there. But then what do you do with all that? I'll leave it up to you, because I have priced this, never shown before, never even seen anything like it before. This is one of those, don't wait for a better price or if it's going to come down or anything like that, because it will get sold. Because think of a price in your head, and so when I tell you what it actually is, I really don't even know how much I paid. But I tell you what, for $68, I don't think you can go wrong. The fun you could have with it. Some say, ooh, I've never seen that. You know your rock and mineral friends are going to say that. This is different. I've never seen anything like that. Don't show them the back yet. Don't show them the back. Just show them the front. When they see the back and the flattened crystal to that extent for that size, you are going to have a conversation piece amongst all of your rockhound buddies, because take it from me, I've seen a lot, and I have never seen anything that comes close to that composition of different minerals and that flattened smoky quartz crystal. Now, look closer. There's probably things I missed, and I'm sure I did. But I've left some homework for you to do. All right, I need to keep moving, get to all the other things I have here. Going along with that, item 107, 8422. Check this out. All right, unwrap it right before your eyes. It's like a piece of candy. Look at this. We'll use that for a backdrop for a moment. Look at this. So, many different ways you can view this. One of the most interesting parts of this, skip everything else, is I love this skeletal formation. Look at this on the side of the crystal. A skeletal formation is like where the crystal grew at different rates. Stopped and started, different crystals grew at different rates, and so you have that unique formation like that. Look at this wonderful termination. Look at this additional crystal. Coming around back, there's some of that hematite. Or is it just glitter? Specular hematite. Then you have your regular red hematite. But what's underneath here? What is underneath there? I guess it's a, yeah, look at that. Termination of another unusually shaped quartz crystal as part of this whole thing. Flattened crystals. And a completely natural color to that smoky quartz. Remember, there's a lot of people zapping and radiating smoky quartz to make it so dark that it actually is opaque. And if it's like that, then yeah, they're doing things they don't even need to do. But that's just the way the market is. Look at this. See, I didn't even show you the back. It's okay. So I got other stuff to do. So let me just give you a price on this: $24. Only $24. That's the deal. Now, going along with the one more with that, and there was only 3 to this group. You're going to see the last one. Item 1078522. 1078522, and here it is. Okay, so you get to see the 2. One, well, I was going to say one's a little bigger, but I guess it is. Let me not get confused, which is easy to do. Set that one down, wrap this one up, put it in the bag. Okay, now, these, if you are looking for a really cool smoky quartz crystal, they fit the bill. Here is another one. And, a lot of people have just boring, straight, smoky quartz. Give me some glitter. Give me some glam with my smoky quartz. Give me some uniqueness to it. Look at that. That certainly does it. The feldspar, the hematite, the little extra crystals. Very cool piece. Price on this one, let's, I think, $24. Same price. $24 on that. Now. Oh, yeah. Time don't run out. Let's see. One more. We have time for a few more. Okay, 107 9222. 107 9222. This came straight out of the former owner of the mine. He is the owner before the current people that operate the Diamond Hill mine. So I am very closely associated with the mine, with the knowledge, with what is being pulled out of there. And guess what? In my opinion only, the best material is long gone. Raven went out there to Diamond Hill not long ago. She was very disappointed. But in the private room of the former owner, his collection of this material, of the pieces that came out of smoky quartz, legendary. Legendary. Let me show you one of the, I had that big one. None of you bought it. We took it back home. We couldn't believe it. But for a small one, look at this. Look at this piece. This is extremely representative of the best of Diamond Hill has. Now, you can use an acid, and what it'll do is it'll remove the manganese oxide coatings, it'll remove the iron oxide coatings, and it'll leave white quartz. How boring is that? Let's give you a close-in of this. So this crystal, what you're seeing, if you broke a piece off, it would be a white quartz crystal underneath. This is a surface coating. Look at all these incredible crystals. This is one of the finest crystal coated, mineral coated pieces in this size I have seen. Look at that. So in one small piece, you have the really strong iron oxide. And then the other end, here, look at that. Okay, so here's a piece from the end. White quartz, that's all that's underneath. These coatings are natural. You don't ever want to remove them. But people silly enough do. I would never. It is a much more attractive and valuable look to leave them there. Most of them aren't this intense. That's what makes this so special. This is extremely fine, and you have, again, kind of a skeletal growth formation there on the end to top it off. Only $58 on that piece. Only $58, hand-picked straight from the owner's collection. Now, this next item is a real beaut, and it is, well, hold on, let me set that right there. I have a collection. Okay, well, first let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is a special piece. We have hung on to it, but I've decided to let it go as well. Item 107-9422. As you can see, a lot of these are made in America. Diamond Hill Mine, Abbeville, South Carolina. That's not far away from here. This next piece, one of the largest. It has its own Riker mount box. Look at this. A stunning, one of the large fulgurites, which you know is when lightning strikes sand. Lightning bolts, you've heard it before that they're no wider than pencils. These fulgurites prove that fact. And what happens is, these were actually all collected by one gentleman who worked in the basically it was a sand mine. A mine for many years that mined that in this big tumbler and sorted out everything that wasn't sand. So what was left from where they were mining from this big sandy area, over eons of time, lightning would strike it and create these fulgurites. He knew what they were. He just would keep them. It's decades of collector pieces. Look at this. So it is so hot that it fuses the inside, and so the inside will be almost a glossy glass, but the exterior is where the sand, got fused to the center portion. You can see the glass-looking interior, and that is completely hollow. The width of a lightning bolt was no wider than what you're looking at right there. Polk County, Florida. This is a large one. See, you can see the glass nature to the interior of that. That's a large one. Price on this is a fantastic opportunity. $48. $48. They don't get real large, but they certainly, so for that size, that's a good size to it. Now, I have a collection of dravite, but I also, for a moment here, wanted to show you, because I had talked about it before. It'll only take one moment. Okay, let me show you. All right, those of you who want to actually do some play with stone cutting or working with anything, I told you how simple it can be. And I've referred to, let me just show you this. Here is all I was talking about. The little units you can get for dollars anywhere at any kind of drugstore. And you just put in, whether it is a grind, look at that, spinning. And it's got good torque. You can sit in front of your TV, and for softer material, this is all you need. This is all you need. They change out that quick when you get the ones that fit it. I actually use it for all kinds of things. And there you go. There you go. You have a polishing sanding kit. Then, another thing you can use, one of these for, sanding your nails with. They come in different hardnesses, garnet, silicon dioxide. They have then on them different up to fine. You can actually cut and polish an opal with one of these alone. You can even do more using that. If you get diamond compound, then you can use one of these cotton wheels, put diamond compound on it, and polish even more, and with no more than a $20 nail kit. Lighting, you're sitting there wondering, well, I can't see. Get a caver's light. They are so inexpensive. They're totally adjustable. You put it on your head. You can completely light up your workspace without lighting up any other area in the workspace with that. There you go. There's some basic tools. Be able to even trim your specimens. That's the other reason I want to show you that, because we talked about specimen preparation. If you wanted to sand down to a crystal in something, there you go. Those will work fine for the home hobbyist. All right, I don't have enough time I do want to show this this goethite specimen. So let me just look the number up real quick. It's right here. And then that will be the last item of the show. I have a specimen that you're going to love. All right. It is one of the, we talk about goethite all the time, and you see it in these small little specimens, but you don't see it in something large. Let's look at item 107 9322. Does that say botryoidal from Morocco? Look at this, the large size of this, and look at, I even know the exact mine it came from. The exact mine it came from. Oh, look at the size of this. This, oh, by the way, look at that. I can do that without getting black all over my hand, which is often the case. I took a saw, I cut the base off. This is a personal specimen. Let's just go in close for just one moment. I want to show you how well formed. Look at that. If you want to spray these, it actually will keep even the dust down or from getting dust and give it somewhat of a glossy look. You can do that. $88 on that. Only $88 on that. For that size, that is a cabinet quality and cabinet size specimen. One of the really nicest ones you will see, especially for what it is. If you want, you can go in and even clean it up more than it is. I just showed you a tool that you can put brushes on and other things to do that for you as well. All right, I had brought in quite a number of other new items. We'll add those to the show next week and have another excellent offering. Just wait and see. We'll be right back with the trivia. Never enough time. But like I said, lost a little bit of time at the beginning of the show, but that was making sure that we got everything right just for you guys. So, you know, I'll always make it up to you. There's always going to be another show, and you're always going to get a lot for the time that we have. And, okay, so, trivia. Note-taking, completely acceptable. Memory using, completely acceptable and preferred. Rewinding, not acceptable. 3 questions. We covered them all in this show. I showed you a lot of unusual items. There's a lot of questions. You can even ask us. I came up with the questions really quick because there was a lot we covered. If all of you remember even just a portion of the things we cover, wow. You will be, you'll walk down that mineral aisle or be amongst your friends, rockin' mineral friends, and over the years, you know, they're gonna be saying, wow, you know, you sure have learned a lot. You know, what book are you reading? Or, you know, I love reading. And I love reading gem and mineral books. But they did not really draw me in until I reached a certain level of knowledge to understand them. And by that, I mean to understand specific gravity, to understand fluorescence, to understand hardness, to understand crystallography, or even just the simple crystallography. At the next level, to understand what a pseudomorph is, to understand how a fulgurite is formed, or even what it is, to understand agatized coral and the difference between Tampa Bay coral and Withlacoochee coral. Now you're getting to an area that a lot less number of people know the difference or could even talk about it. You not only have seen it, you've learned it, and you've had the opportunity to buy the specimens of it. If you have a Withlacoochee coral, then you know, it's like an easily answered equation. If you have one, then you must have the other. Just like if you believe in good, then you have to believe in evil. That kind of thing. I feel a lot of you have really learned a lot and have come a long way, so let's keep it up. Ready, set? Number 1. What 2 elements, and I'm going to get, you know, make it easier by pointing out, which I shouldn't do, pointing out the little, not the trickery, but the things that could throw you off. Like the difference when I say mineral or element. Keep that in mind. So, what 2 elements from the Diamond Hill specimens make up the black coatings and make up the orange coatings? So not minerals. What two elements make up the black coatings and the orange coatings on the Diamond Hill quartz specimens? That actually makes it easier. So you don't have to say a molecule or a mineral. See, I'm giving you elements. Next question. I was trying to think of a couple of different ways to ask this so you'd understand it in the simplest of forms. So I'll put it to you in a couple of different ways. What makes up a two-phase anhydro bubble? Or I could say, why is an anhydro bubble called a two-phase inclusion? And you can use either one of those to get to what I'm looking for. So we talked about it. The third question will actually help you with the second question. What makes up a three-phase inclusion? So that will take your mind away from trying to think of some type of specific mineral. That's not what I'm looking for. So why is a two-phase inclusion in hydro bubble, why is it called a two-phase inclusion? Is one way. Or what makes up a two-phase inclusion? And then to follow that on question number 3, same thing, except what makes up a three-phase inclusion? So, you know, if you learn that and you retain that, I can assure you that the number of, and Barbara can probably agree with me about that. If you know even that question, the number of rockhounds that could answer that, and I don't just mean rockhounds, I'm talking about rockhounds, jewelers, believe it or not, many people that are supposed to have, you know, gemology knowledge don't or wouldn't be able to answer that question or would outthink it. The answer is easy. You are, when you look at that anhydro bubble, you are seeing the answer. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. Good luck to everybody. Enjoy fall weather. Oh, boy, has this been a nice change this week. I hope, though, all of you, you know, can't say the ones in Florida, I can't already wish them health and safety, because what's going on is unfortunate, especially since it hit right near where I lived in Sarasota. And my only thought was, if you're because, you know, for rock hunting in Florida, difficult, there's some fossils and whatnot. But this storm, this is one time when there are things to be found. A storm like that can literally bring sunken treasure to the shoreline. Literally. That kind of force, that kind of wave action. That's what moves shipwrecks along the seafloor, miles, hundreds of miles from where they originally sunk. You know, you can just follow the treasure along. It will bring it to the shore. I was thinking, it's like, oh, here's the other thing, fossils as well, megalodon. As it comes up along the Cooper River into South Carolina, it is going to wash out so many fossils that for that reason, it might be a little bit of a selfish one. I don't want anyone to be harmed, but for that reason, it would be great. Now, one other thing, since I can't do it, I might as well give away my hint that I would love to be able to do on the beach, besides having a really nice metal detector. And I don't care if I look like an old man with black socks and tennis shoes. I'd be out there. Is my Geiger counter. You tape it to a broom handle, and you know what? Those sunken fossils in that part of the Gulf are going to have a radioactive signature where nothing else will. It's not like metal detecting and you finding beer tabs from the 70s and wasting your time, even though they can be discriminated out. I dig everything. You wouldn't believe so many times a discriminator, and you know what? It's not what it says it was supposed to do. I have one of the highest end ones they are for doing that. Doesn't matter. It goes off. I dig it. You wouldn't believe the things I found. Okay, I could talk about treasure hunting. I could talk about all that for a long time, but I have to go. Everybody stay safe. Stay safe. Get out in the weather. Make sure your feet hit Mother Earth. This is the time of the year to enjoy everything that the outdoors has to offer. I have a lot more planned for you in the shows to come, so make sure you're lined up, ready, telephone at hand, and make those sales happen. I need to do some fundraising, and I'm going to make it so it's going to make it easy for you to help me out. God bless all of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it will be my pleasure to see you back here next week. Cheers.